Nestled on the western coast of Cebu, in the tranquil municipality of Badian, lies one of the Philippines' most exhilarating natural wonders, Kawasan Falls. Known for its stunning turquoise waters, lush jungle backdrop, and multi-tiered cascades, Kawasan has become a mecca for thrill seekers and nature lovers alike. But beyond the postcard perfect scenery lies a truly heart-pounding adventure, Canyoneering. To many, the term might conjure images of elite mountaineers navigating impossible cliffs. But in Badian, Canyoneering is a visceral, joyful, and entirely immersive journey through rivers, waterfalls, gorges, and caves. A full-body plunge into the wild. Whether you are a seasoned adventurer or a curious traveler looking for something unforgettable, Canyoneering in Kawasan Falls is an experience like no other. What is canyoneering exactly? Canyoneering, sometimes called canyoning, is a sport that involves traversing through canyons using a variety of techniques: walking, climbing, swimming, abseiling, sliding, jumping, and occasionally crawling. The terrain is unpredictable and constantly changing, and that's what makes it thrilling. In Kawasan Falls, canyoneering typically begins at Canlaob River in Alegria, a nearby town, and ends at the famous multi-layered falls of Kawasan. The entire route spans around 3 to 5 hours, depending on the pace of the group, weather conditions, and your personal threshold for fun and fear. Most tours start early in the morning. From Walbual or Cebu City, vans or motorbikes will take you to the registration area in Badian or Alegria. After signing waivers and getting briefed by local guides, you will be suited up with a helmet, a non-negotiable thing, a life vest. It's essential even for swimmers. Non-slip footwear, a must for wet, rocky surfaces. Waterproof dry bags. It's optional but handy for phones and cameras. The guides, often locals who've grown up along the rivers and falls, are not only experts in safety but enthusiastic storytellers. Their energy sets the tone. Ready to jump? They ask with a grin. Even if your heart says no, their confidence is contagious. The first real moment of adrenaline? A 15 to 20 foot jump into a deep teal pool. There's a moment of hesitation. It's natural, and then you leave. The impact is sharp, refreshing, and disorienting for a split second. Then, as you break the surface and you hear your group's cheers, a wave of euphoria rushes in. This is the first of several jumps, ranging from 10 to 40 feet, scattered throughout the route. All jumps are optional, with alternative paths available, but most find it hard to resist the thrill. As you move forward, the real beauty of the canyoneering trail begins to unfold. Natural water slides. You can find smooth rocks shaped by centuries of water, and the flow creates a perfect form for slides. You sit, push off, and splash into natural pools below. It's like a water park built by nature, untouched by concrete. Rock formations and caves. The route winds through narrow gorges with overhanging cliffs and echoing cave chambers. The sun breaks through a shafts of light, illuminating moss-covered walls and hanging vines. It feels like a scene out of a fantasy novel. Bamboo wraps and hanging vines. In some areas, you'll float gently downriver, carried by the current. In others, you may hold onto ropes or vines as you swing out Tarzan style before dropping into pools. One moment, it's heart-pounding. The next, it's serene. Unexpected wildlife. Watch closely as you might spot tiny fish, butterflies, or colorful birds flitting through the canopy. It is a reminder that this place isn't just a tourist attraction, it's an ecosystem teeming with life. After hours of navigating the canyon, swimming through crystal waters, and testing your courage, you arrive at the main falls of Kawasan, a towering, cinematic cascade plunging into a wide emerald basin. The sheer size of the falls, about 40 meters high, is awe-inspiring. The water crashes down with force, sending a cool mist that clings to your skin. Here you can swim, take photos, ride bamboo rafts underneath the falls, or simply float and gaze upward, marveling at nature's architecture. There are nearby huts where vendors sell fresh buko juice, grilled meat, halo-halo, and other Filipino snacks, a welcome reward after a rigorous trek. While the canyoneering experience is undeniably an adventure, it is also a gateway into local culture. The guides are typically locals from Badian and Alegria, many of whom have deep roots in the area. They'll share stories about the legend of the river, about how the falls were once a sacred bathing site, or about how their parents fished in these very waters before tourism transformed the landscape. The rise of canyoneering in Cebu has brought significant economic uplift to the community. Entire families now make their living as guides, drivers, gear suppliers, or snack vendors. Responsible tourism has become a source of pride, and the locals' passion for preserving their home is evident. Canyoneering is exciting, but it has also with risk. The Philippine Department of Tourism and local government units have worked closely with accredited tour operators to ensure strict safety measures. That said, it is still vital to be prepared. Choose a licensed operator. Look for DOT accredited guides with proper training. Listen to your guide. They know the terrain better than any app or map. Stay hydrated. Bring a reusable water bottle if possible. Protect your skin. Waterproof sunscreen is a must. Know your limits. Don't be pressured to make a jump if you are uncomfortable. The best time to go? Of course, the best months for canyoneering in Badian are November to May. During the dry season, the rivers are clearer and calmer, and chances of cancellation due to rain or flash floods are minimal. Avoid going during or after heavy rains. Not only it can be dangerous, but the water becomes muddy, and many parts of the trail may be inaccessible. Kawasan Falls, its surrounding canyons are a natural treasure, and with its growing popularity comes growing responsibility. Tour operators, non-government organizations, and community leaders have initiated various sustainability programs. Trash-free tourism. Most tours are now plastic-free, encouraging travelers to bring reusable containers. Trail maintenance. Local teams regularly clean and repair trail paths. Eco-education. Guides often share facts about the local flora and fauna, increasing awareness and respect. As a visitor, your role is simple. Take nothing but pictures. Leave nothing but footprints. How to get there? From Cebu City, it is a 3 to 4 hour bus or van ride to Badian. From Mualbual, it's only 30 to 45 minutes by motorbike or tricycle. Hire a licensed canyoneering tour in advance. Most offer hotel pickup. And what to bring? Of course, dry bag for valuables, GoPro or waterproof camera, change of clothes and towel, snacks and water, basic first aid kit. What to wear? Quick, dry athletic wear, aqua shoes or trekking sandals, lightweight gloves, it's optional for grip. Canyoneering in Kawasan Falls isn't just about adrenaline or getting the perfect Instagram shot. Though you'll get plenty, it's about reconnecting with the nature in its rawest form, challenging your limits and discovering a part of the Philippines that still feels wonderfully wild and unspoiled. Whether you're jumping off a cliff into a sapphire waters, floating downstream under a cathedral of trees, or sharing laps with local guides, you will leave Kawasan with more than just soaked clothes and sore muscles. You leave with a deep sense of awe and a story worth telling. So, if your path ever takes you to Cebu, don't just see the waterfalls, jump into them. Canyoneering in Kawasan isn't just an adventure, it is a metaphor for taking the leap when you are scared, for trusting the flow even when the path is unclear, for realizing that some of the most beautiful places in the world require courage, connection, and the willingness to get a little wet. When you stand on the edge of a cliff, with nothing but a pool of turquoise waiting below, you're not just jumping into water, you're jumping into life. If you ever wanted to break free from the ordinary and dive into something extraordinary, let Kawasan Falls be the place. Book the trip, take the plunge, feel the rush. Because life's best moments often begin with three simple words. Let's do it. In a world of screens, schedules, and synthetic thrills, Kawasan offers something real: the sound of rushing water, the smell of fresh bamboo, the feel of limestone beneath your feet. Let this journey remind you, Mother Nature doesn't just entertain. She heals, humbles, and inspires. Kawasan isn't just a place, it is a community. Every guide's laugh, every local snack shared at the end of the trail, every smile from a child waving as you pass through the barangay, these are the moments that make the adventure complete. Support local, travel mindfully, and remember that your journey is a part of something much bigger than you. You will leave Kawasan with wet clothes, sore muscles, and a heart that is just a little bit braver than it was before. Because sometimes the most unforgettable journeys don't end when you dry up. They echo in your memory long after the river's current has carried you away. So, would I recommend canyoneering in Kawasan Falls? 100%. Just be ready to jump, swim, scream, laugh, maybe even panic a little, but most of all, be ready to feel alive. See you at the jump-off point, bring snacks, and don't forget to smile for the GoPro.
Really nice. Hey.
Canyoneering teaches you that bravery isn't about being fearless. It's about leaping anyway. Kawasan will challenge you, reward you, and remind you that sometimes the boldest thing you can do is take the first step off the edge and into the unknown. As more people discover the thrill of Kawasan Falls, let's also remember our responsibility. Every footprint we leave behind matters. Let's be the kind of travelers who not only enjoy nature, but protect it, preserve it, and pass it on, better shape than we found it. Let's face it, where else can you jump off cliffs, float down jungle rivers, and end up under a waterfall all in the same morning? Kawasan is the kind of place that turns adults into kids again. And honestly, isn't that the whole point of travel? If this is your first real adventure, your first time cliff jumping, trekking through a jungle river, or simply stepping out of your comfort zone, let it be the beginning of many. Because somewhere between fear and excitement, between land and water, between hesitation and courage, that's where growth lies. That's where growth lives. And Kawasan is a great place to find it. To the guides who shared their land with us, to the rivers that carried us, and to the waterfalls that welcomed us, thank you. Kawasan Falls isn't just a destination. It is an experience rooted in generosity, adventure, and connection. And if you're lucky enough to go, take it all in and carry it with you long after you leave. I went to Kawasan looking for adventure. I found it, but I also found something else: clarity, courage, and new appreciation for the wild beauty of the Philippines. If you ever found yourself standing on the river rock, looking down at the blue below, wondering if you should jump, you probably should. The more you travel, the more you realize that places like Kawasan are rare, not just for the beauty but for the balance they strike between thrill and tranquility. Let's be travelers who advocate for places we love, not just by promoting them but by protecting them. Whether you came with friends, meet new ones on the trail, or face every cliff on your own, this adventure binds people. It is the kind of experience that turns strangers into teammates and teammates into lifelong stories. Here's to shared jumps, shared laughter, and shared memories, made in the heart of Cebu. You'll go for the waterfalls, you'll stay for the thrill, you'll remember for the rest of your life. Kawasan doesn't ask you to be fearless, it simply asks you to show up, open-hearted, wide-eyed, and willing to let nature surprise you. And once you do, it gives back in waterfalls, in wonder, and in the quiet understanding that the best adventures don't always need roads. Sometimes you just need rivers. Don't just take pictures. Don't just check boxes off a list. Jump, slide, swim, yell, laugh until your stomach hurts. Let the rivers show you who you are when nothing is holding you back. That's the real gift of Kawasan. Not the waterfalls, but the freedom. In a world of noise, Kawasan speaks in water, clear, calm, powerful, and when you listen closely, you'll hear more than just the splash of a jump or the rush of a current. You will hear your own spirit saying, This is what it means to feel alive. Kawasan is more than an adventure. It is a shared treasure. Every person who visits becomes part of its story. As you leave, ask yourself not only what you've taken from the experience, but what you've left behind. Let it be respect. Let it be care. Let it be appreciation. That's how we keep Kawasan beautiful for generations to come. Sure, your legs might ache the next day. Your clothes will definitely be soaked. Your heart completely full. And somewhere back home, far from cliffs and cascades, you'll smile at the memory of one wild day in Badian, Cebu. And maybe, just maybe, start planning your next leap. Kawasan teaches you to trust the jump, to let go of the edge, and to let nature carry you where you need to go. It's not just an outdoor activity, it is a crash course in courage and a reminder that sometimes the hardest part of the journey is just deciding to start. We come to places like Kawasan chasing thrills, but what we often find is truth. Truth in the simplicity of water, truth in the boldness of the leap, truth in the joy of being part of something larger than ourselves. In that canyon, you don't just meet nature, you meet yourself. You will capture amazing photos, you'll shoot epic video, but nothing, not even the best drone shot, can quite explain what it feels like to leap off a cliff into a river, surrounded by jungle silence and cheering strangers. That feeling, that's Kawasan. You just have to be there. Cross it off your bucket list. Not because you should go, but because once you do, you will wonder why it took you so long. Kawasan Falls is one of those rare adventures that lives up to the hype and then takes it higher. The river may have carried us downstream, but the memories, those stay upstream, right where the laps happened, where the nerves kicked in, where the jumps became triumphs. To the people who made it unforgettable, the guides, the friends, and the falls, thank you for the ride of a lifetime. Kawasan doesn't just leave you breathless, it leaves you better, more confident, more connected, more alive. You will walk away with soaked shoes, sore muscles, and the unforgettable feeling that for a few hours you were completely present, completely free, and completely part of something bigger. In the stillness between rapids, in the quiet before each jump, there's a moment of calm, a moment when time slows down, and all that exists is you, the water, and the wild. Kawasan invites you to experience life unfiltered, raw, real, and rushing right beneath your feet. Travel isn't always about landmarks. Sometimes it's about chasing rivers into the unknown, jumping where your heart hesitates, and discovering that the best parts of the world and yourself are found off the beaten path. Kawasan Falls isn't just worth a trip, it is the trip. Forget roller coasters, forget zip lines, this is the real deal. Kawasan will challenge your fears, flood your veins with adrenaline, and leave you grinning like a kid who just found their new favorite ride. And the best part? Nature built it's all for free. Like the river that carves through the canyon, we're all shaping our own paths with every choice, every wrist, every leap. Kawasan reminds us that sometimes the current knows where it's going. All we have to do is trust it. I came to Kawasan for a thrill, and I left with a story about fear, courage, laughter, nature, and the strangers who cheered me on from the other side of the cliff. And the best part? I'd write the story again in a heartbeat, only next time I jump from even higher. It's easy to lose yourself in a world of noise, but here, surrounded by water and sky, you will find something else, clarity. Kawasan isn't just a place to explore, it is a place to reset, a place to remember who you are when no one's watching but the trees. Whether you have climbed mountains in Peru or swam in the manta rays in Indonesia, Kawasan still finds a way to surprise you. Because adventure doesn't have to be a far flung to be life-changing. Sometimes it's just a river away. You start as individuals, jumping one at a time, but somewhere along the river you become a team. You cheer for each other, you help each other across slippery rocks, you laugh when you fall in. And when you reach the falls, tired, wet, and triumphant, you realize that what made it special wasn't just a place, but the people. Don't think, just jump. Kawasan will catch you. If life were a movie, Kawasan would be the scene where everything changes, where fear turns to freedom, where hesitation becomes courage, and where the leap is no longer scary, but necessary. And when the credits roll, all that matters is that you jump. There are places in the world that remind you how little you need to be to feel cool. Cool water, warm sun, wild air, and a trail that makes you feel something. Kawasan is one of those places you won't just see nature here, you will become part of it. Not every adventure ends with fireworks. Some end in quiet reflection. Wet shoes drying in the sun, laughter echoing in your memory, and a smile you can't quite explain. That's the Kawasan effect. It stays with you long after you leave. It's not about how high the jump was. It's about how far you swam. It's about proving yourself that you could. Kawasan gives you the cliffs. The courage is yours to find. You came to Kawasan for the falls. You stayed for the canyon. You left with something else entirely. A story you never get tired of telling. You will take hundreds of photos and none of them will do it justice. Because what Kawasan gives you can't be cropped, filtered, or tagged. It's a moment, a feeling, a rush. And no algorithm in the world can recreate that. If we want places like Kawasan to remain wild, raw, and beautiful, we have to earn the right to visit them. That means being better travelers, respectful, conscious, and grateful. The next generation deserves to jump into the same clean waters we did and feel the same magic. So pack your bags, book the trip, lace your shoes, jump off the cliff. Kawasan is calling and adventure doesn't wait. Maybe life is like canyoneering. You face the current, you live into uncertainty. You take it one rock, one ripple, one rush at a time. And along the way, you realize the point was never to stay dry, it was to go all in. In the end, canyoneering in Kawasan isn't just about the cliffs and waterfalls. It's about the courage to cleave, the beauty of letting go, and the quiet strength we discover when we trust the flow. We come out of the canyon soaked, exhausted, and forever changed. Not because the river demanded it, but because somewhere along the way, you chose to jump. In a world full of destinations, Kawasan isn't just a place to go, it is a place to feel. Life is full of rivers like Kawasan, unpredictable, breathtaking, and waiting for someone brave enough to jump in. So you want to remember every step, every splash, or every stone beneath your feet, but you will remember how it felt to be completely alive, somewhere between the cliffs and the current. At Kawasan Falls, every leap is more than just a jump. It is a step toward discovering your own strength, embracing the wild unknown, and carrying a piece of the river's spirit with you long after the water has dried.